I'm of the belief that most webcomics suck. Now, a lot of you might disagree because there are some pretty good webcomics out there, so maybe it's less controversial to say that gaming webcomics suck. I mean, they're pretty much known for being complete and utter crap. Here's a webcomic you may not have heard of, Gamer Chicks. Gamer Chicks is a gaming webcomic that started in February 28th, 2006. This website is probably older than half of y'all. It's known for being, well, it's not actually really known at all. It is a relic that hasn't really faded into irrelevancy because it wasn't really relevant to begin with. The most notoriety this comic ever really got was among the posters of 4chan's V, who proceeded to relentlessly troll the author on her DeviantArt page until she eventually deleted it. That's not to say that the comic is completely forgotten. It does have a page on the Bad Webcomics wiki, and is alluded to every so often in 4chan's V, so it probably has a very tiny, unorganized cult following. I'd give you a detailed description of the person who made this hunk of junk, Teresa Surinoki Murdoch, but she's seemingly disappeared off the internet after 2009, after she deleted her DeviantArt. Today, we can only piece together who she really was based on the websites she may have used a decade ago. She lives, or lived, in South Carolina, and was obsessed with Japanese culture. Which is to say that she's a weeaboo. It's actually a little scary how well she fits the term. She also has an obsession with yaoi, just putting that out there. Other than that, tiny details of her personal life can be pieced together by analyzing her LiveJournal entries, Pagoda of the Misty Moon, which I'll leave that for you to do. I'm not interested in going over 3 years of weeb speak. But enough introductions. Let's look at the webcomic. The website itself oozes early internet. I'm actually feeling a little nostalgic. Gamer Chicks, cause guys aren't the only ones who play video games. So obviously she's the, yes, girls play video games, you silly boys, get over it type. Get back in the kitchen. So, first comic. Oh, what's that? The art style looks horrendous and you want to die? Well, get used to it. There's like 70 pages of this crap. The art style looks like someone was shown a manga or an anime and was then held at gunpoint as he was forced to recreate it from memory. Look at the glare on her hair. It's so realistic. And look at the poster that looks like it's floating in midair. Though I guess I can't really talk. Oh, and look at the PS2. That looks like a regular box except it has PS2 written on the side of it. Well, okay, it's not a good comic, but it's a first comic, so let's let it pass. You should say Merry Christmas. This is a Christian country. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I have to accommodate for heathen. Go to hell. What, you're looking for a punchline? Religious people get angry. That's the joke. The hair gradient is some of the best I've ever seen. Who made this? Picasso? There's a theme you'll see that starts to emerge with this comic. Half the time the punchline isn't funny, the other half there isn't even a joke at all. Like, in this comic there's no punchline. Where's the punchline? Where? Sort of like in this comic, which is actually drawn half decently, she plays video games at 3 AM and then at 7:30 AM she says, being awake annoys me. Like, where's the joke? Is it funny because it's relatable? You can't just depend on something being relatable for it to be funny. Although, ironically enough, that's basically the premise of most webcomics today. Thing is relatable, thing is funny. So, really, Gamer Chicks was technically ahead of the curve. Here's another comic. Why can't I see her eye through her hair? Like, I know that's a thing that some mangas and animes do, you know, when part of the eye is covered, but in here, the whole ass eye pops out through her hair. She looks like a monster, a freak. She reminds me of that red guy from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. This comic I found to be pretty funny. See, she's just walking along until she passes who I assume is her ex-boyfriend because she says this, scratchy monkey hot dog C-word of an ex-boyfriend. Yeah, first of all, XD, random. Second of all, I get the feeling that we're not supposed to like this character, but I mean, just look at him. Is this really the face of hate? He seems pretty friendly. I'd love to have a drink with him. And what's most amusing is that this ex-boyfriend of hers actually has his own character description, despite only ever appearing in one comic strip. E.E.B., Surin's evil ex-boyfriend. Occupation unemployed. So obviously a little immature, don't you think, taking out your anger on him through a webcomic? I mean, I don't think your personal relationships are any of our concerns. And in this one, she's just looking at some games, her eyes pop through her hair, and some nerd walks up to her and she's like, "Get the heck away from me," and he says, "Hi, I'm Maynard, you have boobies, can I touch them?" Now, I can guarantee you that this never happened to her in real life, but we don't make fun of people's appearances on the Double FJ show here, so this strip in particular highlights a major problem with this series, and it's that the artist doesn't understand that text goes from top left to bottom right, so you end up with stuff like this. So which one was your favorite? What was that? Lament of Innocence only had one problem with it, so obviously that's not in the proper formatting.
Great gods of gaming, please bless unto me with good games, pizza, soda, and, stuff.
How eloquent. STFU. See, reading this comic, I know she's one of them fake girl gamers because any gamer worth their salt knows that in order for this sacred prayer to work, you have to sacrifice 10 children to Saint Black Ops 2 Cell. So, yeah, like, if you want people to think that you're a real gamer, you're kind of failing really hard at it. So here's another one of my problems with the comic. For some reason, the author finds it acceptable to show character emotions by putting emoticons into the speech bubbles. Like, isn't that kind of redundant when the character's face is like 2 inches away from said speech bubble? I don't really know what's going on here, but please keep your pubic shaving habits to yourself. I'm Mr. Green Christmas Bit. Oh wow, this was the original snow/heat miser meme. You learn something new every day. Now, I'm not the one to complain about cultural appropriation, and I'm not going to, but I think this comic is probably gonna make Japan beg for a third nuke. Hey, any of you guys remember playing Resident Evil 4 and just staring at text for hours on end? Oh yeah, and when that text then started to crawl off screen, it really revolutionized the gaming industry. Blew my mind, honestly. So here, the artist flatters herself some more by having this guy ogle at her self-insert's boobs. Again, I really don't think this has ever happened. I think the only realistic part about this comic is that all that comes out of her mouth is nonsense and blabber. But seriously though, your stomach is larger than your bosom. Stop flattering yourself. Men aren't drooling over you, you delusional. So this comic is pretty funny, not because it's actually funny, but I mean, let's just read it, alright? Thursday, we fought traffic to Relay Durham, NC. Upon arrive, we inhaled pizza and partook of comfy hotel beds. Inhaled pizza. Like, what in the actual blue hell? So yeah, in this little strip, she's just sort of recounting her experiences at an anime convention. She talks about, I hoard gamer chicks out at a webcomic panel. Wait, you mean webcomic, right? Were you intoxicated when, alas, I'm unheard of? And you know, you're probably better off that way. Look at this fella. This fella is long! Okay, this one is historic. Even if you haven't heard of Gamer Chicks, there's a chance you might know about this strip. So she's walking into a games booth there. Geez, did I pick a bad day to wear white? You can all stop staring now. Now, you might be confused because on the last panel, there's a block of cheese which appears to be shooting lasers at her tits. Believe it or not, but this block of laser cheese actually represents people. When the artist gets too lazy to draw an actual crowd of people, she just plops down a brick of cheddar. It just begs the question, why the hell are so many people crowding around one specific part of the game store? Who does that? I also like how her mouth kinda looks like a beard. And this is probably the height of Gamer Chick's popularity. Just type in laser cheese in Google and you'll see what I mean. God, if I was in that games boot, I'd probably have to attend therapy after witnessing such horrors. Let's give this new magic system a try. What? Holy crap. And then it starts raining crap. Really? Why do I have to put up with this? Literally. Holy fuck. No! Okay, wow. So there's actually a punchline in this one, and it's actually kind of somewhat amusing. I mean, it's not enough to make me burst out in friggin' tears laughing, but I mean, it's somewhat amusing. What's up? Oh, just work. What about it? You know that symbol on the shredders that warn you not to stick your hand in it? It lies! That's not the right "your," but okay. I couldn't even fit my hand in it. Okay, so yeah, it's a lame joke, especially in 2020, but come on. In 2009, we'd probably ourselves laughing, let's be honest. I feel like doing something painstakingly and frustratingly time-consuming that ultimately will reap a cool reward that may or may not verify the uselessness of my existence. Chocobo breeding, here I come. Honestly, this strip doesn't seem that bad. I mean, I'm sure if I played Final Fantasy, I might have chuckled at it. So, Gamer Chicks kind of ended off on a high note, didn't it? I mean, the art improved, like, it's nothing special, but it became presentable, and there were actual punchlines added in that were, I mean, they're not gut-busting, but they were somewhat amusing. Unfortunately, this is the last comic strip that Gamer Chicks has to offer. About a decade ago, Teresa Sirinoki Murdoch disappeared from the internet forever, never to be seen again. Probably the most sensible thing for her to do. So honestly, Gamer Chicks, for the most part, it sucked as a webcomic. The art sucks, most of the comics don't even have punchlines, some of them don't even make any sense. And if you thought that was bad enough, she has another webcomic, Lessons in Distraction, a more story-based webcomic which, you guessed it, also sucks. But that's another video for another day. Honestly though, if I had to put my finger on it, I'd say that this webcomic was made as a means for escapism. If you read through Teresa's live journal, there's a fair bit of heavy stuff in it which I won't get into, but honestly when I read through it, suddenly it made this video like putting down a horse. It felt wrong, you know? And honestly, I will say, I hope that Gamer Chicks will be preserved for generations to come. Despite its quality, or lack thereof, to me, it remains a relic of the internet's past. An example of how one sect of the cyberspace talked and acted back then. It is an artifact of early internet culture which will forever be preserved in the depths of the internet, waiting to be uncovered. Perhaps it is more than just a bad webcomic. Perhaps it is history. Friendly Fella Jed, out.